to go live with the vibe of the tribe. The tribe of the vibe is what I'm doing today. So, what am I actually talking about? Well, let's talk about this. So, for people who are sensitive to energy, people who are highly empathic, people who have spent probably most of their life helping people, being all things to everything, everyone else, dropping things to help their mates, compromising their own well-being to for the good of others, mediating for everyone else, for being the family rock. There reaches a point in your life where you suddenly think, well, hang on, what is going on here? You might be the black sheep in the family. There's a lot of black sheep out there. And that's what I have come to know, that there are a group of people. Let's call them light workers. Some people call them starseeds. Some call them super empaths. Some people just call them good people. And you could be any of them. It doesn't really matter. Let's not put a label on it. It's talking to about good people for good people. And there reaches a point in your life where you start to think, nobody really gets me. Nobody really understands what it's like to be me. And that is what we're talking about here. That this is a wake-up call. So let's explain what's going on here. So the planetary vibration has been raising for a while now. And this is the paradox, because the vibe is higher, but what that's doing is creating chaos, global chaos. You'll be feeling that. I won't need to explain it to the people who this is designed to reach. You won't have to explain it to them. So the vibe of the planet is rising right now. And people who were here for a bigger purpose, if you haven't found your purpose and you're not living it, then you're going to be traumatized into waking up, which is why spiritual people, good people, light workers, call them what you will, are having brutal awakenings. Now, although this seems traumatic, and it is, let's not brush over this. It can be traumatic waking up. That it had to happen. Because if you're not living your life where you're waking up every day and you're feeling great about it, you're shining your light, you're finding your vibe tribe, you're getting connected with people of like minds. If you are not doing all of this thing, then things will get darker and darker and darker until you have your rude awakening. It's rude, my Jedi friends, rude awakening when you wake up to this dynamic. And what will happen usually is there'll be a point in your life where you just feel very isolated or increasingly isolated. And if that's you, if you're feeling increasingly isolated, thinking, I don't really understand my family anymore, I don't really know who my real friends are anymore, I don't even know where to go to hang out with people that are like me, people don't really understand me, you've been the black sheep for so long that you're probably thinking, I don't even know who I am anymore. Well, that is what I'm talking about here, my Jedi friends, that there is two families that you're born with. There's your physical family that you were born into, and they're here to give you your life lessons. They're not necessarily good ones. Well, they are actually good ones. They might not feel like good ones. But what they're designed to do is to wake you up so that you end up connecting with your spiritual family, your light worker family, your vibe tribe. And that is what we're talking about today, my Jedi friends. Because one of the questions I've had on some of the videos that I've released is, where do I connect with these people? How do I find them? How do I find my vibe tribe? And that's a really good question. So this is an opportunity, if you don't know who they are. Let's go through some of the practical things. So let's see, I've got Brenda Coleman on. Hi, bro. Well, hello, Brenda. Lovely for you to jump in. And thanks for being the first to comment as well. You legend, you Jedi friend you. I've got Cookie Run Kingdom fan saying hi. Well, hello, Cookie Run Kingdom fan. Great to have you on board. Great to have you on this live stream, which I just decided to wing it. I decided to wing it today. Let's do a YouTube live vertical. Apparently that's what it's like. I've got DA on with Salam Alaikum. Well, Salam Alaikum, Alaikum Salam to you, my Jedi friend. Thank you for joining the live stream. of Jedis looking for their vibe tribe. That's what we're all here today to do. That's what we're here to do. We are here to connect. We're here to connect with our vibe tribe. We're here to wake up to the big picture of our lives. So, and with all of you Jedi friends, by all means, if you've got any questions on this, then just throw them into the comments, and I will read them out. So DA has put Masala. Well, if that is meant to be Mo Salah, what a legend. I'm a Liverpool fan, so there's only one Mo Salah, my friend. And what a season he has last year. So absolute legend. And DA says, I'm in France. Well, fair play to you, DA. That's we're making it we're getting the global council out there. We're connecting with Jedis from all over the world. Everybody's welcome on this thread. Everybody is. So cool deal. You're coming to the UK. Well, cool deal to you, DA. Cool deal. So it looks like a thread at the moment of people in France coming over here. So bring it on. bring it on. And who've we got on? LeBron Play SRL said hi. Well, thank you. That is fantastic. Can I live with you? You wouldn't want to live with me, fella. I'm telling you, that is not the way. Until I get my free hotel room. Well, let's face it, the UK is the land of free hotels right now. And let's face it, you know, if I was the other side of the channel now, I would be coming over. I mean, you can't turn down an offer like that, can you? I mean, such a benevolent government. Bring it on. Bring it on. It's a free-for-all over here. Anyone can come over. I've got a job set up and a free hotel room. And cash in hand. Well, you don't even need cash in hand. You know, our government will throw it at you, my friend. So there you go. You know, it's welcome to all. It's a very welcoming place over here at the moment. Unless you go to Essex, maybe not so welcoming over there right now. It's all kicking off. It's all kicking off in the UK. It's all good, mad. It's all gone madness. We've all gone mad. That is what is happening now, and that is actually a classic. It's a classic example. I've got Epic Edits. Hi, I'm new. Well, Epic Edits, thanks for joining this little live stream. Even could be a live stream. If everybody's turning up on my doorstep, it could be live streaming. So who else we got? We got Phil McElroy. We'll smash the lion. Leeching mugs. I will need a 5-bedroom house, please. You don't need a 5-bedroom house. There's hotels up and down the country, DA. Up and down the country they are. And the government, they love it. They're just handing them out for free. So who's to say that's not a good thing? It's lunacy. The world is going mad, my Jedi friends. And this is just one example of how it's happening. So let's have a look. LeBron's Play SRL, the Essex lot are tough. I wouldn't be messing with them for sure. Up and down nothing, southeast. I need 5 bed for my 4 wives when they come to 22 children. That's about right. Well, DA, why not bring the lot? Bring them over on the boats. Why not? Let's all sail together. We can all meet in the channel and play dinghy boats. Yes, well, that is certainly, I mean, maybe that's where you're going to meet your vibe tribe and the English channel right now. That could actually be the case. Who knows? We've got Sandal Merchants, Bruv by Phil McElroy. No, Phil McCory. That's fair play, Phil. Well, we never know who we're going to run into on these streams, do we? I never know which direction it's going to turn. I certainly didn't see that coming. Neither did the people on the beaches in the UK. They didn't see that coming, did they? Or maybe they did. Maybe they're sitting there going, oh, look, there's more boats coming over. Navigating crowds. I've got epic edits getting on. So yes, well, I did. I certainly did not expect this, my Jedi friends. But you know, that's the beauty of going live, isn't it? You just don't know what to expect. So not quite the way I thought it was going to go down, but you know what? I'm happy to go with the flow. Let's do it, my Jedi friends. Leave your comments. Yes, DA's coming over and he's bringing his family. His 5 beds for his 4 wives and 22 children. Well, let's face it, my Jedi friends, if any other country in the world was offering that, you'd be off, wouldn't you? You'd get on your dinghy. You would go. You can't blame people for coming over for those sort of handouts. So let's have a look. Navigating crowds, epic edits. I shaved my head for you. I'm bald now. Well, kudos to you, epic edits. If you've shaved your head, I'd say do it for you, not for me. For me, it's you've got to cut your losses, haven't you? When it started receding, just cut it all back. Cut it out. Cut it out, my Jedi friends. It was the best thing I did, especially actually backpacking. If you backpack, it's very convenient to be bald because you can do your own shaving. And not only that, let's face it, during lockdown, it was a real bonus because while everyone else couldn't get haircuts, me, not a problem. Shave it in the shower, my Jedi friends. That's what I say. Shave it off. Shave it off. DA's back. My aim when I come to the UK is to work in a chicken shop in Rotherham. Well, you go for it, my Jedi friend. You go for it. And there's a chicken shop. And Epic Edit says, cut it out. Yes, cut it out. Cut it off. That's what I say. Cut your losses, Epic Edits. When you start to recede, you may as well embrace the shape of your head. It's a lot easier. And not only that, here's a bonus to going bald. Like when the grey hairs turn up, like no one can see. You can see on my eye, maybe on my eyebrows, you'll see a few rogue grey hairs. And if I was to take my top off, you'd probably see it in my chest hair, but you won't see it on my head because we've cut it off. Cut my hair off. It is gone. It is gone. So there you go. It's actually one of the best things that happened to me was cutting all my hair off. Because in my younger years, I used to be the gel maverick. Used to sculpt my hair a bit, and if someone used to come and ruffle it, used to traumatize me. I'd have to go and look in the mirror. But I lost all of that vanity when my hair went rogue, so I just cut the lot off. Cut it off, my Jedi friends. That is the way. That is the way to do it. So. Well, this has definitely gone down an avenue I didn't expect. The beauty of live verticals, I guess, I'm getting to find out for myself. I'm getting to find that out all by myself. I certainly didn't anticipate that this was going to be the way that it went down. But here we are. So I will momentarily get back on track now that the comments seem to have stemmed. But by all means, add the comments. I'm happy to go as left field as you like on this one, my Jedi friends, because that's the way that I roll. It is the way that I roll. We will just go down whatever avenue the comments take me. What I was going to say is for people that are sensitive to energy, for empaths, for light workers, for people that are generally good people, for the person who is like the rock of the family that everyone goes to for advice, there'll always be a time in your life, and it's usually later in life, because you're highly empathic. You think it's normal. And there'll be a wake-up point when you realize you've given so much to everyone else that maybe you're not quite in the place that you wanted to be. Maybe you're not living your dreams. Maybe you're not living the life that you love. Maybe you are not quite made it yet, or you're starting to question, who are my friends? Where are my friends? Who can I meet? That's what I'm talking about on this stream. So Epic Edits is back. Wait, can you see the emojis on the side of the stream? I did see that, Epic Edits. Was that you that was sending them up? Yeah, do it. Press more. Yeah, I can see it. Like the party things going up on the side of the screen now. Thank you. Yes, I can see it. You legend. So it's you that's sending the party and the smiley faces. Well, kudos to you, my Jedi friend. We are having all of the emojis that we can take. In fact, I say to everyone, get those emojis going, get them flying up the screen. It adds to the live stream. I love the party. We are going to party today. That's what we're going to do. So DA's back. Can I ask you a question about your hair, please, without you getting offended? Well, I'll tell you what, DA, you do really well to offend me because I'm at a time of life where I've heard it all. I've heard it all, so you go for it, my Jedi friend. And it's very clear from your comments so far that you're not worried about whether I'm offended or not. You're going to press the boundaries anyway. And I welcome that, my Jedi friend, because it is part of the stream. It's part of what it's all about here. You don't go live if you can't handle a YouTube crowd. And what I've learned is they come in all shapes and sizes with all sorts of opinions and all sorts of comments. So you have to be highly adaptable. And being an empath, being highly adaptable, that's been pretty much the story of my life. So yes, please do it. Please do it. So Epic Edits, Time Bale, Table of Life, very indeed. Well, one thing I will say to you, Epic Edits, that those emojis are absolutely going for it. I'm loving it. I'm seeing the spectrum. I saw a couple of love hearts as well. So kudos to that. Kudos to you and the smiley faces and the party things. So Muhammad Khalid said hi. Well, hello, Muhammad Khalid. Lovely to have you on the stream. Welcome, my Jedi friends, to my live vertical. Apparently that's what this is called. It's a live vertical because it's got my phone on vertical and it's live. Yes, Epic Edits, add to them. Keep them flowing, my Jedi friend. Fire away. We've got parties, smiling faces. And, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'm loving it. I'm loving the lives, the flow of all of these emojis coming up the side of the screen. I think that can only be a good thing, quite frankly, my Jedi friends. I think that's a good thing. So you keep them going. And as far as what I was talking about, it actually doesn't feel that relevant because here we all are connecting. So if a mid get says your hair smells nice, is that classed as sexual harassment? If a mid-get, I'm not quite sure of what that question is, DA, my Jedi friend. But if you're saying that my hair smells nice, well, I'm assuming you're not talking about the hair on my head. So if someone comes up to me and says your hair smells nice, I'm probably going to raise an eyebrow and say, what are you talking about, my Jedi friend? Small person. Okay, got you covered. Tons of hearts are coming. Well, thank you, Muhammad. I appreciate all the hearts between you and Epic Edits. You are absolutely keeping it rolling at the sides there. So I'm loving it. Here we go. Here we got no hair. Well, some people, I actually read a good thing on hair. I think this is a really good one. Somebody in the barbers I used to go once upon a time when I did have hair, they had this poster on the side of the barbers and it said, God didn't create many perfect heads. On all of the other ones, he put hair on them. So there you go, my Jedi friends. You've got perfect heads. Because I've got a perfect shape head, I didn't need any hair. There you go. I've gone with my vibe. And I have to say, for someone, I actually went and lived in Australia for a year and I lived in Southeast Asia for a couple of years. And it definitely helped not to have hair there. Because it's a little bit hot, my Jedi friends. And you can stay a lot cooler with this type of haircut. So it was definitely a winner. So definitely a winner. So there you have it. So Epic Edit says, but did God make the barbers? Oh, that's a good question. And it, possibly, quite possibly. So, well, for someone that's completely non-religious, I can only speculate, my Jedi friend. Maybe it was just the energy source. The ultimate energy source created it out of universal oneness. Maybe. It was a big bang theory, and when the bang exploded, there was a barber shop in the middle of it. Maybe it was created perfectly from a singularity in the Big Bang. Who knows? Who knows? Bang! A Big Bang theory. The universe existed, and the first thing they stuck on it. None of this evolution stuff. Straight into the barbers. That's how it came. There you go. Like, we've got Linzarella in the house as my Jedi friend. Fancy seeing you online. Hi, Linzarella. Well, I've got some very interesting characters on here, and I've got Muhammad and Epic Edits are unleashing a wave of emojis going on this live stream. So I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling like the party is happening. It's unfolding before my very eyes here. I just can't help myself. Just feeling the love. I'm feeling the love. Have you ever served on the USS Enterprise? Indeed, I have. You probably recognize. I am Picard's nephew. And I've worked with shapeshifters from all over the galaxy. Few Klingons. We've had a few Klingons. We had to deal with them. Yes. Yes, I have been. And astral travel is just one of my array of many talents, my Jedi friends. So make it so. Yes. Make it so, number one. You could be number one for this little stream, my Jedi friend. Let's do it. Linzarella, really, Adam. You know what I'm like. You know what I'm like. And who's to say? You know, been out of this world. Been a Jedi. Been out of this world a few times. The USS Enterprise, what a place. It's kudos to it. And let's face it, it's been around the galaxy. It's done the rounds. The USS Enterprise has done the rounds. In fact, I even followed Voyager, and they weren't even in the star system for most of the time there. They didn't even know what star system they were in. They were out exploring. There you go, the Voyager. I've been on the Starship Voyager as well, my Jedi friends. So Muhammad says, I'd like to hear all your shape-shifting stories. Well, of course, hair is optional amongst shapeshifters, my Jedi friend. You know, some people need hair. They need it as part of their core identity. Others don't. So for me, it's an unnecessary. It's a bit like wearing a watch. Don't really need it, do you? Don't really need it. We've got Melvin Jones here. Hi, Jedi friends. Well, hello, my Jedi friends. Good to have you here, Melvin. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for getting involved in the chat. That's always a winner. DA's back. I had a few Klingons the other night after the chicken jalfrezi. I'm sure you did, DA. I'm sure you did. And they can be a little bit rogue. Not always easy to get rid of. It was brutal. It was brutal. Well, this has turned into an interesting session. I didn't realize I would be going into my Trekkie nature. Now I have. So, since there's a few Trekkies obviously on here, like, who's your favorite race? Who is your favorite Star Trek character? Get involved, my Jedi friends. Let's see who you identify with. Who was the best captain? Who was the best one? So DA says Voyager was rubbish. A woman captain. Nah, but Janeway was pretty cool. She was pretty cool. And let's face it, if 7 and 9 had been the captain, you definitely wouldn't have messed with her, would you? You would not have complained if 7 of 9 had been your captain. I certainly wouldn't. Spock. Melvin says that Spock was, well, indeed, like the Jedi mind trick. Well, he had the Vulcan. He had the Vulcan death grip. I mean, he had some moves. Spock was cool. It's a bit cold, but he wasn't so much cool. He was ice cold, but he was cool. And Linzarella says Kirk and Spock, lol. Well, fair play. Kirk was the original. He was the original. Fair play to him. It does look a little bit dated, though, the original series, don't you think? A little bit dated, my Jedi friends, on that original one. You know, I did like it. I preferred Deep Space Nine was my favorite because the Cisco rules. The Cisco rules. And obviously, starship captains have a distinct haircut. Long live the Cisco! The Cisco. And of course, he's not just a captain, he's the emissary. He is what energy encapsulated. He can just go into the vortex and become omnipotent. Bit like the Q character. Bit like Q, the omnipotent being. So let's have a look. Kirk wasn't the original captain, Pike was. Well, that's fair play, DA, but he was the first on our TV sets long before Pike ever existed on our TVs. So there you go for us older people, us pensioners. Not quite there yet, my Jedi friends, but old enough to remember. That's what I am. So Muhammad says, interesting combo, Jedi and Klingons. I imagine they wouldn't deflect shots. They'd welcome them. Well, let's face it. The Klingons love a fight, don't they? And Jedis are pretty good at dodging the moves. So as a simulation exercise, they'd probably keep each other entertained for several hours. Jedi versus Klingon, especially those batleths. They look a bit cumbersome, don't they? They're not the sort of thing that once you've finished fighting, you can stick away. You're not going to be carrying them round easily, are you? They don't just sort of clip into your belt buckle. They're a bit cumbersome, the whole thing. They might look good in a fight, but you know, if you're out at a nightclub or something, somebody starts on you, you're not likely to be carrying one, are you? Bit cumbersome, unless you've got like they unfold. You've got to press a button and they instantly unfold out of nothing. So DA says the pilot was Pike. Fair play. I've got the 7 sacraments of health here. What are we talking about? That's a really good question, 7 sacraments of health. So this started off on a semi-serious thread to talk about connecting with your vibe tribe, but it's very quickly descended into absolute bedlam. And me, I just go with the flow. So it started off, we were talking about the English Channel, getting over there and free hotels. That's where we started off. It's a bit left field, I'll grant you that. And now we've gravitated onto, and chicken stalls. Let's include that. Now we've gravitated into Star Trek. So I don't quite know how we got there, but I'm just following the flow of the comments. That's effectively what's happened. So hopefully that's you up to speed. Feel free to change the subject at any given time. And Muhammad says, we're talking about basically everything. This is the most flexible conversation I've ever seen, which I like. And TA says, Stingy is due in 5 hours. I've got my papers ready to chuck in the sea. Yeah, they've heard about the hotels. In fact, if you know any other countries that are doing the same hotel deal, maybe I'm going to go and get myself. When you come over here on the dinghy, maybe you're going to trade in. You're not going to need it. You'll have a free hotel. Maybe you can give me the dinghy and I'll see if I can find one in France. I quite like this free hotel deal and, you know, handouts and, you know, maybe I'll bring my 23 wives. I like the idea of that as well. It could be quite interesting the way that this goes down. So, yes. So, yeah, not quite. As I say, 7 sacraments of health. I think you've got the vibe of it. Like, so, am I in France? No, I'm actually in the UK, but I'm considering going to France now. I'm hearing all these dinghies are on their way over. I can pick up a few free dinghies on the coastline and find free hotels all over Europe. I actually hear Holland are doing the same deal. So that could be an interesting place. And they've certainly got some interesting shops over there as well, which I can fully testify to. It is an interesting place indeed, a very interesting place indeed. So yes, I did honestly start off thinking that maybe there would be a slightly more serious vibe to this, but I like the way that it's gone. It's testing flexibility, and what's the point going live if you're not going to go with the flow of it? So yes, speaking of the flow, it's obviously heading to the beaches. The flow of the English Channel, that's where we are. So DA, yes, I'm in France. I'm coming to the UK in 5 hours. That's pretty impressive that you can get over in 5 hours, DA. And if you're midway, it's even more impressive that you've got internet connection for this YouTube live vertical. Like that's pretty cool, isn't it? Maybe you should be doing a YouTube live vertical of the trip over. We'd get you live in the boats, couldn't you? And you can update us of the journey across the channel. Yeah, no. So 7 sacraments of health. I'm just scrolling. So Muhammad says I admire his dedication. Well, so do I. Well, by the sound of it, in fairness, DA, I mean, if you can get across the English Channel in 5 hours, there's probably a place in the Olympic team once you get your nationality and all the paperwork signed, which, let's face it, with the current government, it shouldn't take long. We'll get you in the Olympic team. We will get you there. You could be gold medal material. And then all your wives can celebrate on the finish line and bring you a chicken bucket or something along those lines. Here's your gold medal, and there's your chicken bucket. I was told 7 hours, but the UK Coast Guard will pick us up halfway and ferry us to a waiting coach. Probably, yeah. Well, I hear they're fairly efficient when it comes to stuff like that. We get there quick because there are 70 of us paddling. Well, that could be a new event. We could even start a new event, couldn't we, in the Olympics? The cross-channel ferry race. Teams of 70, which the first one across gets the hotel. Set for life. Get your monthly bursary or your weekly cash handout, and you can go roaming the local area, doing whatever you like. Yeah, it is. So 7 sacraments of health. Oh gosh, I'm in the USA. I love to expatriate, but not sure when. Oh, good workout. Yeah. So where in the States are you, 7 sacraments? That's a fairly big place in itself. In fact, you don't really need to go traveling. You've got everything over there, haven't you? And I think a lot of Americans don't even have passports because of that. I actually did a road trip. Here's a little lesser known fact. So I've worked in the States back in the day. I used to work in summer camps over there. And after one of the camps in the year 2000, I did a road trip from New Jersey down to LA, drove across the country, and then back up to Seattle, and then across the top back through to Buffalo, and then back down to New York. What a trip that was! That was a cool road trip. Best road trip I've ever done. So DA says, well, I'm on the last dinghy tonight, which is only for doctors and engineers. Muhammad says 7, no need to expatriate. Trump is making every day, interestingly, unexpected, like it's a new US. So Colorado, well, I drove through Colorado, 7 sacraments. I stayed in Vail for a couple of nights on that trip. In fact, the guy that was driving with me, he was going to college in Vail. So we had to stop off and drop all this stuff off. Vail, absolutely cracking part. Colorado, loved it there. Didn't spend long there, but we did drive through it, and I did spend a couple of nights in Vail. Really interesting part of the world, that is. So Muhammad, it's a triple, right? Yes, like bad acid. Vale is beautiful. Yes, it is. Absolutely stunning part of the world. I wish I could have stayed there longer. I was a little bit jealous of my friend going back there to do his uni. But yeah, what a cracking place, and to drive through as well. So I think when we were in that part of the world, we stopped. We went from Colorado down to Phoenix, and we stopped at Arches National Park as well on the way, which was another amazing place. There's so many amazing places in the States, and the road trip, like the places you just drive for hours, like driving through Arizona, that's nuts. Kansas, just nuts. Like I've never seen so many mosquitoes in my life, or flies and bugs. But yes, an interesting place. DA says, my wife's wear a veil 24 hours a day. Kudos, DA. Well, you'll have plenty of veils in your household, won't you? Seven Sacrament says, the wonderful earth energy here and the natural beauty cannot be denied. No, not at all. The guys actually that I met there that took me on a journey, they insisted that I went to Sedona. They told me about the energy vortex that it was. Now, for somebody that works with energy, being in Sedona, that was truly mind-blowing. And I was there before anybody, before I even trained in things like Reiki or vortex healing. It was my first experience of what it was like to feel high energy in a place. An incredible part of the world. That is absolutely incredible. So good against mosquitoes. Veils. Yeah. Not been to Sedona. Well, I highly recommend it. And also I went back a few years later to Yosemite. That is another place where the energy in Yosemite is incredible, really incredible. Yeah, very uplifting. I was only sleeping for about 4 hours in Yosemite and waking up like wide awake, full of energy. It was great. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I went there for a public speaking competition a few years ago. I got in. There's a little known fact, folks. I got into the final of a competition called the World's Greatest Speaker. I was in the final. I was. So there you go. And I had to go to Yosemite to do my final speech. There it was. And it is there somewhere on this channel, probably lost in the annals of time at this stage in the game. At this stage in the game, it is lost in the annals of time, for sure. So nice. Let's have a look. DA says, my Chinese friend said he went to Wales once. It's near Cardiff. Well, if you were near Cardiff, that would have been a very different experience to Colorado, my Jedi friend. Kudos for making it there, is what I'll say. Yeah, I've not been to Cardiff for a long time. It's been decades since I've been there. But yeah, I'm sure it's changed since I was last there. In fact, it would have had to. It would have had to have changed because I'm going back at least 30 years now. So there you go. It's been a while since I've been in Cardiff. So Jedis, let's have a look. My Chinese friend said he went to, oh yes, we've done that. Jedis is what Seven Sacraments of Health does. Well, maybe you know this or not. I don't know if you follow the channel, Seven Sacraments, but I run the Jedi Training Academy. So I teach energy work. I've trained in lots of different energy systems, and that's what I do. So that's actually the way that I roll. And I call it a Jedi Training Academy. One, because people understand Jedis and we just tap into it. It's about using energy. And secondly, if ever I get a knock on the door from Disney telling me that I can't use that, it will tell me that the marketing campaign is working. You can't use that. Well, I'm too small for anyone to care at the moment. So there you go. You can be a Jedi. We do a Jedi Training Academy. Lindsarella, who's on the thread, has been through the Jedi Training Academy. So there you go. There you have it. I teach people practical energy. Things like Reiki, but I make it simpler and I actually practically take people through it. So rather than just teach you a system, we work on using it and the things that can happen when you go through that. So that's what I do. That's the way that I roll, my Jedi friends. So good energy. Well, we'd like to think it's good energy. And Muhammad says, super cool. Well, thank you, my Jedi friends. I'd like to think so. I've been working with energy now for about 23 years. So I was trained as a nurse. I was medically trained. I was working with people who'd been given sudden diagnoses that they didn't have very long left to live. And they were coming to me and asking me if there was any hope. And because I had medical training, the answer to that question is a flat no. So I thought, well, I wonder, is there? So that's how I got involved in energy. That's how I started exploring alternatives. And I've seen some pretty incredible things as a result of it. It took me on a pathway, my Jedi friends, I can tell you, that has been very interesting. Have you traveled? I went to Bangkok last year. I've been to Bangkok a few times, DA, it has to be said. In fact, I've worked in Thailand, believe it or not. I've worked in Thailand. My friend went out there and set up a bar restaurant, an Irish bar restaurant in Koh Samui, and I managed it for just over a year. But I lived there for 2. I was there when the tsunami hit. So there you go. There's a lesser known fact. I was in Koh Samui when the tsunami hit. Obviously, that was the other side of the peninsula, so it didn't directly affect us. But I woke up very drunk that morning and people saying, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" I was like, "No, I'm not all right. I've only been in bed a couple of hours." Turns out they were talking about the tsunami, not my hangover. So there you go. So DA went to Bangkok last year. I remember my time in Bangkok. 2 Thai girls approached me and asked, I wanted to have a threesome. They said it would be like winning the lottery. And it was. We had 6 matching balls. Well, you've already won the lottery, DA. What? How many wives? Was it 20? Was it 4 wives and 23 kids, or was it 23 wives and 4 kids? I can't remember. DA is a man of many talents and much flexibility, no doubt, from what we've come to learn on this particular thread. That is very apparent. DA has transcended, obviously, done the rounds. DA, you got some interesting adventures. Took to the tsunami to a new level. Yes. Well, yeah, there's different ways of getting screwed, isn't there? I think DA has just highlighted one of many different ways you can get screwed. It's certainly the DA Bangkok adventure version as one of them. So don't forget my goats. Well, this has definitely gone down a wild path. I never anticipated this, my Jedi friends, but I love it. I love it. I love the flow. I love the fact that I couldn't have predicted where this was going to go, and I couldn't have predicted DA showing up on the thread and pulling this down all sorts of interesting threads. So, kudos to you, my Jedi friend, for your flexibility on the thread and your adventurous nature. So, I mean, on this thread, just for anybody that's late to it, we've got DA there, and it started off. He's somewhere midway through the British Channel at the moment, coming over with, I can't remember if it's 4 wives and 23 kids or 23 wives and 4 kids, but there's a lot of them on their way to the hotels over here. But simultaneously being over, there's a friend in Cardiff, also a trip to Bangkok, where that's exactly what he did. Bangkoks, as in DA's case. He got 2 for 1. What is it? Bog off. Buy one, get one free. So here we go. Oh, and he's got a goat. He's got a goat. You got many questions dangling. Yes. The trick is to put the goat's back legs in your boots first. And 7 sacraments of hell, says DA. Sure, you're not wrong. Is that Kentucky? Well, his derby sounds like an interesting one anyway, that's for sure. Dude, did I read, says Mohammed. Well, yeah, it's certainly, DA is carrying things here. We've got no idea. That clearly a man of many talents. I had no idea what I was getting myself into on this thread. It has certainly been a wild ride, my Jedi friends. It has been a wild ride. And DA's really stolen the show, so I don't really know. No amount of Jedi or Force energy could deal with the force of nature, which is DA on this live thread. So I just want to thank you for for the fun that I've had on this one, my Jedi friends. I certainly couldn't have predicted this one. Could not have predicted where it was going to go. So 7 Sacraments says, I grew up there so I can make jokes. Well, kudos to you. Kudos. Actually, when I worked in a summer camp, my first co-counselor was from Kentucky and used to make all the same jokes. It was a right laugh. My mate Ronnie Brooker, first ever counsellor that I worked with, and he was in my cabin looking after a bunch of 4 to 6 year olds, and that was a handful, I can tell you. So there you go, my Jedi friends. I think this feels like probably a good time to sign off on this live stream, since it certainly didn't go the way that I anticipated it, but I didn't anticipate anything. I just anticipated starting the live and seeing where it goes, and fair play to you, my Jedi friends, for taking this in a great fun direction. It has certainly been great fun. So to any of you that are new here, that haven't subscribed to the channel, well, you now have an indicator of exactly what it's about. We go with the flow. We talk about anything you like. We're flexible with the content. And I will be signing off in a couple of minutes. If any of you have got any final comments, you're very welcome to do so. Please do subscribe to the channel if you want more of these absolutely random threads that promise to be one thing and end up taking you in a completely surreal direction. Because based on today's experience, I feel like I'm probably going to be doing a few more of these, because this has been fun, my friends. It's been emotional, and a particular shout out to DA for all of your random comments. But to Muhammad and 7 Sacraments, fair play to you all getting involved. I've loved it. Loved the flow of it all. And to Epic Edits, who jumped in and started the emojis rolling earlier. So what have we got here? I've got to go, mate. My drug dealer is at the door. And I need to hide behind the settee. He's not, his name's not Scarface. I hope you're getting the good drugs, DA, because you don't want any of the rubbish, like, 'cause they sometimes mix stuff in, don't they? You know, make sure it's pure. You end up in hospital. Saw lots of people that had the unpure stuff in my time in A&E. I can tell you that much for sure. And 7 Sacraments of Hell says, it was fun. I subbed previously, but I must have connected to something. Well, fair play to you, my Jedi friends. Thanks for joining back in. It has been really good fun. So, and Muhammad says, random is an underestimation. It's been a spectacular day, mate. Have a spectacular day, mate. Yes, I think that's a fair comment, Mohammed. I think it has been random is really not doing this justice, and it's all down to you, DA, my friend, for leading the way on the random today. There's a little poem there, isn't there? It's a little rhyming thing, leading the way on the vibe today. So you might not find your vibe tribe, but you're certainly going to find a very interesting thread of complete surrealism. So, well, with nothing but flexible on the Jedi trail, my Jedi friends. So, TA says respect of the ITF. You're going to get us all lynched here, DA. I can see where this is going. So I think on that seems like a good sign-off thing. And the seven sacraments of hell says ciao. I shall wish you all a good evening, day, wherever that is in the world that you are. May it be a good one, my Jedi friends. And may you connect with your vibe tribe, however way that goes, wherever they lurk, wherever they be, whatever boats they're on. And, and wherever in the world they may be hiding, may you find them. May the force be with you, my Jedi friends, because it's been emotional. It has been a ride, probably more for DA than anyone else, but it's certainly been a good one. So, my friends, I shall wish you all a good evening, and I shall sign off on this live stream. Well, I think I will.